Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I am your melanated queen, and we will be discussing a number of topics today. One of those that are lying heavily or weighing heavily on a lot of people's minds are the riots that are going on throughout the nation. Right now, we've heard that Minneapolis, Minnesota has been up in riots. We've heard that Fayetteville, North Carolina, near Skibo Road, shout out to Fayetteville, has been up in riots. We've heard there was one other place that has been up in riots, and I can't recall if it was Cleveland or somewhere else. I do apologize, it escapes my mind at the moment. But I just want to send everyone this message and just give a mindful message to you all to be careful when you go out there. In my prior videos, I like to warn my melanated people, if you're going to go out and protest, make sure you have tactical gear in place. You want to protect yourselves, you all. You don't have the same armor. You don't have the same weaponry. You don't have your artillery. You don't have the things that you need to protect yourselves. Gas masks, and all of these protective pieces of equipment that you may need to protect your body. The police force, they're coming out with shields. But even deeper beyond that, the message that I would like to convey is to be very careful in the techniques and the tactics that are being portrayed in the media, you all. There is something called Operation Mockingbird, and we will be discussing that on one of my next Power Slide videos. I want to talk about how there have been forces within the CIA that actually has already infiltrated mostly all of the media that you see. And a lot of times when these riots are incited, things take place, and that we think that the citizens of this nation are responsible for, when they are not the initial starters of a lot of these protests. If you're familiar with a guy by the name of George Soros, then you will understand that he has been responsible for funding a lot of the protests that have taken place over the past years. I do have a clip. If I'm able to find it and pull it up, I will let you all listen to that as well, so that you can get a better and more clear understanding. My apologies, because a lot of people are left in disarray. A lot of people are left confused, in pandemonium and panic. But we're not going to live like that. I'm going to say it to you all. Peace be still. May peace be still. You all, sometimes in the darkest times of your life, the universe will make you very uncomfortable. The universe is transitioning you for something greater and better, and it's very uncertain, and so it does not feel well. I know this to be exact, true, and correct, and I'm not speaking of anything that I have not walked through or that I am currently walking through that I won't share with you all. So just know that in these times that are very uncertain, the universe is shifting, and the universe is working things out in our favor, you all. So I just want to say, peace be still. Sometimes you do not have to inflict violence. You do not have to project negativity. The enemy wants you to feed your energy to them. The enemy wants your energy. The enemy can't survive without your energy. There is a very deep ritualistic practice that takes place amongst this country so many more times than what we could ever imagine, on so many different levels, you all. They could not survive and they cannot thrive without your energy. Just know that. And I'm going to play this clip for you all, and it says a protester opens up about being paid. Now this particular clip was from 3 years ago, so just understand that if they have been doing these things 3 years ago, they are still doing the same things up until today. So let's listen to this, and then I'm going to get into the definition of Operation Mockingbird. You all just look out for my next video, my next Power Slide, and I will walk you step by step down the line on how the Operation Mockingbird actually infiltrates the media structure, and it actually influences people's brains, and it incites fear. It inflects emotions within many people across the world, and a lot of times you don't have all of the facts taking place. So I do want to say this, as far as what's going on with this rioting situation in connection with George Floyd, I just want to caution you all to check out Question Everything. He's on TrueTube. That's TruuTube, TrueTube, and as well you can find him on YouTube. Question Everything. If you watch his channel, he actually breaks down some of the inconsistencies that have been found in this George Floyd story. So I think a lot of times the first thing people like to do is to rush to. A lot of times people want to rush to a conclusion. They want to rush to speak their minds. They want to rush to an opinion. They want to formulate an opinion, and they're having emotions about something before they actually think logically about certain circumstances. Trust and believe all of these things are tactics that are being used against you. So like I said, I'm going to actually get into the information that I'd like to share with you so that we can understand how these things are orchestrated right in front of our eyes and we're not even aware of it. But before I play the video for you, let me go ahead and read to you, for those of you who may not be privy to or have the understanding of what Operation Mockingbird is. So let me see if I can look that up. Here it is. It's coming up. Just a second, you all. All right, and just a quick definition. Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale, and just be mindful of the terms that are used in these definitions, because this is controlled by Google, so they censor things. And as we are aware, censorship has been a major issue across this nation, especially here recently. So they are very selective in the choice of words and the terminology that they use when it speaks to the rights and liberties and the alleged freedoms of the citizens of this country. It says Operation Mockingbird is an alleged large-scale program of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, aka CIA, that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes. Okay, let's review that again. Begin in the early years of the Cold War. Do we all know how long ago that was? And attempted to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes. Well, I'm here to tell you all, they did not just attempt to do it, they actually did do it, and they infiltrated the system, and they own the system. So this is why you get the stories that are fed to you. This is why you get a George Floyd blown up and put in front of your face without all of the facts being conveyed to you in a correct manner. This is why you see Ahmaud Arbery being pushed in front of your face. This is why you saw Trayvon Martin being floated around. This is why you saw Rodney King back in the 90s, and you saw the protests in the LA riots. They're not going to tell you the strategy that was behind all of these situations. Do you know how many people are obliterated out here by the police, who are profiled, who are stopped without probable cause, without reason, whose rights are violated, who are searched? I showed you that on the last power slide. Did we have any news media covering that? We don't get the news coverage on each and everything that goes on in this world. So trust and believe, they pick and choose what they want to feed you all, and it's for a reason that's going to benefit them. And I really heavily believe that they would like to implement martial law. So the more people go out and riot, that gives them a suggestion and a reasoning to go ahead and call upon the National Guard, to have you sitting in a military state of police. Okay, and let me continue on with the definition, you all. It said that Operation Mockingbird funded student and cultural organizations and magazines as front organizations. Now that is extremely powerful, okay? Because if they're funding student organizations and magazines, a lot of what the information that is given to students is probably not factual. So you can just basically assume that you're being lied to, okay? And front organizations, they don't get into the specifics of what that is. Now let me go ahead and play this clip where one of a former protester basically speaks about getting paid to protest. And again, this is to generate certain pandemonium in the media and to inflict fear and to incite violence and to portray certain people to look a certain way in front of the entire nation and the world. Here we go, you all.
So at one point, a woman sort of facetiously asked if there were any paid protesters in the house. And of course everybody shouted no and groaned. But you stood been indicated that you are a paid protester. What did you mean by that?
Well, I meant, you know, like we all get paid to you know.
No, I don't know. Please explain.
Well, it's a difficult thing to explain, but basically, anytime that you're given the opportunity to protest and somebody will pay you to do it, that's like twice as good as just doing it on your own time.
So you weren't kidding around. You actually meant that you have been paid at some point to protest?
Yeah, like
How can I get in on that?
Yeah, okay, so you know, you go to like GeorgeSoros.com and you just sign up right there. You put your name in, you put your email address, and there's an empty box there where you say how many times you're willing to protest and how much you want to get paid.
And you get a check directly from Soros.
Directly from Soros.
That's incredible.
Signed by him. He even invited me to lunch.
Does he sign it in blood?
He said if I'm willing to like gather some more friends, I can get paid like twice as much for every friend that I gather and kind of set up a pyramid scheme.
And you can get rich just based on protesting for Soros, right?
I already have, yeah. So basically, I've been organizing most of the protesting that you see in California so far, and it's all due to being paid. If I wasn't paid, I would be, you know, like skiing.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
Okay, so you heard it right there for your own ears, straight out of this protester's mouth. George Soros has been funding many protests. Now, if you try to Google George Soros, because I tried this earlier, the Google search is going to say that it is not true. They're going to try to debunk this, okay? So let's just hear the rest of what he has to say. It's only a few seconds longer, and I will post this clip in the description box for anyone who would like to review this.
I know. I just wish more people knew about it because then we could actually like start a movement.
Okay, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
All right, and he says, I wish a lot more people knew about it because then we could start a movement. Do you know this video only has 262,000 views as of 3 years ago? But if you allow one of these celebrities to post something that has nothing to do with anything of importance, they have 2 million views in 2 days. But no one cares because they're too involved with nonsense, and this really needs to stop, you all. So those are just some of the key points that I wanted to share with you. I'm not going to hold this video too long. I do have some things to do, so I just wanted to send a quick message out to you. Brown Girls Are Beautiful wants to say thank you to all my melanated beauties. I do want to leave you with a German phrase. All is good, okay? I'm saying all is good, and I just want to say peace be with you all. We do need peace in this time. We need to all join together, band together, and don't let the media manipulate your minds, you all. I do apologize. I couldn't think of anything right there on the tip of my tongue because my mind is just firing off in so many different places right now. And shout out to all the melanated kings out there. I want to announce that we do have some new gear, some new paraphernalia coming out. I'm so excited about my designs, and the melanated king that hooks me up, he is wonderful, and his work is immaculate, very stunning, very good quality work. So I just want to bring out the best that I can and produce the best optimum quality product for you all. Sorry, my words are getting tangled up. But anyway, I wanted to say all the little princes and princesses out there, continue to walk in your divinity. I'm going to try my best, and I am, and I will. I'm speaking this into existence, walking in my divinity right along with you all. We're all learning together. Thank you to all my subscribers. If you have anything that you'd like to speak about, please post it in the comment section. I will respond back to you all. So everyone, have a peace, safe and blessed weekend, and I will be back to address you shortly, okay? Thank you so much.